Welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to refill a Canon cartridge. This is black, color black 221. You're going to need your cartridge, a refill kit, you got a syringe, a little drill, some plugs, and some ink. A timer is helpful, or a watch. A chip resetter has an insert for the smaller chips or for the smaller cartridges, or you can do the bigger pigment black. Some tape to cover up the vent holes, gloves to keep your hands clean, and a paper towel because it will be a little bit messy. To start off with, we're going to cover up the vent holes on the end here. And we're going to drill a hole right at the base near where it says push. There's a little indentation at the bottom. We're going to drill a hole. And it looks like there's other areas on here where you could drill a hole, but I advise not to use those. They don't work as well. And after you drill a hole, you're going to check, make sure your plug fits. And I've used this brand before, and so it didn't fit very well, so I had to widen the hole. So I start with the next size bigger drill bit. And then I'm going to end with the 1/8, because with those plugs, the 1/8 worked the best. You want to make sure you have a snug fit. So before you do any filling of your cartridge, most importantly, you're going to want that plug to fit. Alright, got a nice tight fit. Okay, to start off with, I'm going to use about 1 milliliter and drop it on the sponge. This is an important step if you don't want ink to run all over the place, as what happened to me. So I'm just going to get about 1 milliliter. And I'm going to slowly drop it onto the sponge. Try not to make a mess. The ink goes into the sponge fairly quickly. But this helps moisten the sponge so it'll expand. And as it expands, it keeps the ink in the reservoir where you want it and not running out all over your table. And if this is your first time, you're going to want to cover your table, which is good to do anyways, because it can be messy. Okay, we're going to set the timer for 2 minutes. You'll want to let it sit for 2 to 3 minutes to give the sponge a chance to expand. So we're going to go ahead and wait for that to take place. Okay, our 2 minutes has passed. Start filling it, but before we do, we're going to put the cap on. You want a couple rubber bands handy just in case one breaks. I like to wrap it 2 or 3 times just to make sure it stays on there snug. We're going to pull the cap out. This time we're going to soak up lots of ink into our syringe. I'm going to double check, make sure I have color black and not pigment black. Okay, I've got my color black. I put it in the hole, and I put the needle all the way to the bottom, and I begin filling it really slowly. You want to take your time, let the sponge do its job. I'm just going to leave the needle all the way in the bottom and just slowly squeeze the ink in, watching it fill the reservoir very slowly. And I like to leave just a little bit of room at the top so I don't overfill it. The excess ink will return to the bottle. Now we'll insert our plug. Make sure it fits in there firmly. Now we're going to open it up and dab off the excess. Make sure it's all working okay. That looks good, just little blobs when I push down. That's good. Now we're going to clean the cap a little bit. Before I put the cap back on, I'm going to reset the chip. The little holder, you can see the contacts, they go right down there, and you'll push down, wait for the light to turn on, and count. For about 5 seconds, and because I'm not quite ready to use this, I'm going to go ahead and put the cap back on, secure it with my rubber band. And there you have it, a refilled ink cartridge.